Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. When I say pop-up, I kind of scheduled this in. I'm trying scheduling these pop-ups in, at least so you guys get a little bit more of an advance warning. Can I see a cat coming in the background? Hello, it's Rory. Hello Rory, have you come to do a live update as well? I think you have, haven't you? Let me just make sure my computer's on mute. There we go. Yes, so I have some updates for you on the social media account, the Instagram account for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Sussex Royal. Also, a little bit of information about the possible Twitter handle debacle that's going on at the moment. I will tell you all about that. And I also have a few new it's not really information, as it's not necessarily facts in terms of where Meghan might have the baby, but I do have some information which may allude to more than what we previously knew. So I will be going through all of these things. First of all, I want to say hello and welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already, please do hit the big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. And also hit that notification bell because sometimes it does work and it does update you. So I'm going to start with the Sussex Royal Instagram handle. So yesterday, as we know, I made a video on it, and I'm not going to try and go over all the old ground, but I made two videos on it. They have launched their new Instagram account, independent obviously of any other members of the royal family. Now, one thing I did want to stress, maybe I didn't quite make this make the point enough in yesterday's video, but certainly in the first video I made where I actually showed you the Instagram page, I did say that it is important to note that the Kensington Palace Instagram and Twitter have changed their photos to that of the Cambridge family. So of course, it's big news for the Sussexes. They have their own Instagram, but also the Cambridges have now got it alone too. Now, I don't know for how long they are going to be kind of intermingled. So I don't know if Kensington Royal on Twitter is going to still be posting updates on the engagements, because for example today, as of speaking at this moment, Prince Harry has carried out an engagement at the YMCA in Ealing, which is a mental health charity which helps young people and teenagers. Now, usually by now, sort of 4 hours after the engagement, we would have had some kind of update on the Kensington Palace Twitter and Instagram, and I haven't seen any. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. Is a new Twitter account imminent for the Duke and Duchess? Quite possibly, and I'll kind of go into a little bit more details on that now. I just wanted to kind of set the scene. So Sussex Royal, of course, is their Instagram handle. So people have been thinking perhaps it makes sense to have the same name for Twitter. However, a man called Kevin Keeley from Brighton has been using that Twitter handle since 2014. Okay, a bit of a problem. However, trying to make that information again. Yes, apparently yesterday or this morning, the Sussex Royal account that he has was unavailable. And apparently he had Sussex Royal 2. However, I went on it and I checked about half an hour ago, and my story kind of updated, so I had to make some extra notes. So I went and checked. I typed in Sussex Royal on Twitter, and sure enough, there is a Sussex Royal 2, but that wasn't created. It wasn't created now. It was created years ago, because I think he had a problem. This Kevin Keeley had a problem with the original Sussex Royal Twitter account. It had been hacked because some tweets from years ago that I read back said that, don't follow this account, it's been hacked. So he set up Sussex Royal 2 years ago because the first account had been hacked. So I don't know whether that account had been closed down recently or not, but it's open again. The Sussex Royal account is open, and Kevin Keeley, because of all the interest in this, had tweeted for the first time in years. Now, this was about an hour ago. He tweeted, and I quote, "I am still the only @Sussex Royal on Twitter." So he has not given up that Twitter handle for the Sussexes. So unless they do a deal with him or come to some kind of arrangement, they will not be having at Sussex Royal on Twitter unless Kevin Keeley moves and he changes position on this. Because like I said, an hour ago he tweeted, I am still the only at Sussex Royal on Twitter. And he also has Sussex Royal too. So there we go. It's confusing, I know. That kind of changed my whole story because I was going to go through something completely different and then that turned up. So I want to see what people are saying about that first before I move on. You get all the facts with me, don't you? I hope you appreciate it. Let's have a look. Okay, people sending me lots and lots of love. Thank you so much. Yes, the Sussex account now has 2.7 million followers as of now. Mrs. BSN said she saw that too, I think, about the account. Alicia says, damn that Kevin. Mrs. BSN says, they can do Sussex Royal Official on Twitter. There is a way for them to have the name. They could, but it would be a lot more simple to just have that handle straight, wouldn't it? Oh yes, there was some more information. Like I said, the Instagram account now has 2.7 million followers. And it has broken records. It's smashed records. Let's give it a fan flap because it has broken Instagram records. And I have some stats. Let me just go through them. So, this is the record for the fastest 1 million followers in under 6 hours. And they broke it. So, they had 150,000 followers in the first 30 minutes. Then they gained another 2.2 million overnight. So they actually, I think they broke it in 5 hours 45 minutes, which of course was a record. Now the previous record was set by K-pop pop star, I think it's King Daniel, I don't know, something of that nature. And he had 1 million followers in 11 hours, and that was only in January of this year. So they have broken records. And I wanted to give you some other stats about other Instagram, I'm not talking Twitter, Instagram accounts. So the Kensington Palace account has 7.1 million, and that so far is the biggest account at present. The Royal Family one, the official Royal Family one, has 5.1 million followers. Who's next? Princess Eugenie has 790,000 followers. Then Clarence House has 676,000 followers. Sarah, the Duchess of York, I know she's not an official working royal, but I've included her anyway. She has 190,000, and the Duke of York sadly comes in last position with 153,000. So there you go. You can follow all of them if you so wish. Let's see what people are saying. Let's go through it. Matilde says, can you imagine when they open the account on Twitter, do they get a plaque for the Guinness records? Well, technically, they have broken a record. So I would say they're entitled to one. Maria says 2.8 million and a new post from Harry's engagement. Ooh, has there? Let me check. I need to check live. Because obviously I haven't seen it. Because I'm like, oh yes, so there is. So just as I've been on air, there is a post from his new engagement. Let's read it live, shall we? So it's a photograph of Harry. He's smiling and he's sat next to another gentleman who I'm sure I'll find out who it is in a moment. So it says, today, the Duke of Sussex met with families, children and young adults at the YMCA England, Wales in South Ealing as a continuation of his dedicated work in the mental health space. And it's got quotation marks. There continues to be a huge progress in smashing the stigma that surrounds mental health. But let's keep normalising the conversation. Let's keep reminding each other that it's okay to not be okay and to listen to each other. After all, how we think determines how we act, how we feel, and how we treat ourselves and those around us. And that was a direct quote from the Duke of York, so I'm thinking that was possibly from a speech. And then there's a continuation. It takes courage, strength and honesty, but talking through your mental health issues often becomes the key to dealing with them. Just like physical exercise, which we all know is good for us, we have to care for our minds as much as we do for our bodies. 1 in 4 people will experience a mental health problem at some point in their lives. It is part of all of us. Have an unashamed conversation on how you feel. Be empowered to share your story, and you will see you are not alone. For more information, visit at Heads Together. And the photograph is the Press Association, and it comes under Royal Communications. There we go, and it already has lots of comments already. So there we go. Live on air, we had a posting from the account, and it was quite nice to be able to read that. So there we go. Elaine says, the Guinness Book of Records sent the Duke and Duchess congratulations on smashing the record. So possibly a plaque, maybe. Bernice says, the Kensington Palace... Oh no, I wasn't talking Twitter, I'm Instagram. On Instagram, Kensington Palace has... I checked. It has 7.1 million. I did say I wasn't talking about Twitter. Sandy Pun says, at Sussex Royal, congratulations for 2 million subscribers for the fastest world record on Instagram. Natalia says, I hope fans don't bully Kevin about it. I hope so too. I mean, I'm sure some kind of arrangement will be made, or they will just choose a different handle. I mean, they could choose something to do with Frogmore. Frogmore Cottage, or something of that nature, maybe. I don't know. Sussex Frogmore Cottage. So they could do something, couldn't they? Now, I want to move on because there have been some developments, tiny developments, in regards to where baby Sussex could be born. So, all the way through all of the birth, I've said it's most likely that it's going to be a London birth and possibly Lindo Wing or the Portland. And I kind of based that on where I thought Meghan would be residing at the time of birth. And as I knew, Frogmore Cottage wouldn't be ready before the birth, so I was assuming that she would be somewhere in London, possibly even still at Nottingham Cottage. Now, we don't know for sure whether they have vacated Nottingham Cottage or not. That is still speculation. I know some royal reporters have said that they've left it, others have said they haven't, so technically we don't know. So I thought that the Lindo Wing possibly all the way through. However, a royal reporter has done a little bit of digging, and they have asked the local council if there have been any parking restrictions outside of the Lindo Wing. Now, there were parking restrictions ahead of the birth of all of the Cambridge children's put in place by the council before the births. That has not happened. So, well, it's not happened for the month of April anyway. So, that is kind of leading me now to think that the Lindo Wing is not on the cards. So that leaves the Portland in London, or it could lean more towards a different hospital, possibly even outside Frogmore. Well, I don't mean outside Frogmore, I mean close to Windsor. Now, the hospital that's closest to Windsor, that's a really good one and also has royal connections because of the Earl and Countess of Wessex, is Frimley Park, which is not too far away from Windsor and indeed Frogmore. So, a little bit of a development. It's now not looking like the Lindo Wing unless things change. So, we are a little snippet closer to perhaps deducing where baby Sussex may be born. However, Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace have remained firmly tight-lipped on all of this. They are not commenting. I really think that the birth hospital is not going to be announced until literally Meghan is probably in there, unless of course someone leaks any information, which I kind of hope they don't really. So there we go. No parking restrictions are in place outside of the Lindo Wing, so that could potentially rule that out. Another key thing that's been banding around within the last couple of days is about the baby parade. You know, when Catherine emerges looking like she's had 2 weeks in a luxury spa outside the steps of the Lindo wing with babies, and kind of shows them off to the press to get some peace from them. Well, she does, doesn't she? She looks like she's had 2 weeks in a luxury spa. I mean, Catherine looks... She makes giving birth look like 2 weeks in a luxury spa. Hair perfect, dress perfect. And yes, I understand that is a lot of pressure to look like you've had 2 weeks in a luxury spa when you've just given birth. And it would be unfair to compare two duchesses for anything, but in particular with the whole giving birth situation. You know, expecting Meghan to kind of look exactly the same as what Catherine does when she comes out of hospital. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's okay to just look like a normal mother who's just, you know, had 10 rounds with Mike Tyson when you come out of hospital, isn't it? It's okay. Meghan, if you come out of hospital looking like you've had 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, that is perfectly fine. But anyway, the world's eyes would, of course, be on Meghan if she did the baby parade. Now, the baby parade, I've said again all the way through, it has its benefits in that the press get what they want, they get a photo, and then they leave you alone. So there are benefits to it. However, people are now talking, some royal reporters have been saying, that does the baby parade really fit with Meghan's feminist views? And to be honest, it probably doesn't. It probably totally doesn't. But still, the benefits of it are that they get the press off your back. There's also been talk about the potential photo being released, which again could happen. So I don't know if baby parade is on the cards or not. I mean, again, it depends on how Meghan feels. I mean, whether she has a cesarean. I mean, is she really going to be expected to kind of stand anywhere outside any hospital doing a baby parade hours after you've had a C-section? That would just be unthinkable. Could it just be Harry that goes out and presents baby to the media? I don't know. But there is obviously renewed talk about which hospital it might be and whether baby parade is going to fit with Meghan's ethos and thinking on women's rights and kind of what's expected. So let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Lots of people saying no baby parade. Tammy says you have such a way with words. Thank you. I definitely don't think they'll be selling baby pictures, no. Monroe Taylor says hello and thank you for keeping us up to date. The Duchess of Cambridge must be seen. Yes, because she is the future queen. True. Joanne says all live chats have mostly been done about Sussex. Vlogs seem to be all about the royals. I'm sure Meghan will be beautiful after baby. Yes, because there's been lots of kind of pop-up news recently about this kind of thing. And to be honest, it's really, really hard to make a standard video when you can't use press photographs of a thing to illustrate something. So unless it's an actual engagement, it's very hard. It's a lot easier for me to just come on and do a pop-up. It's easier to talk about them and whatever. So that's one of the reasons why I do them. And also it involves you guys as well. So you guys get to be involved with the comments, which I don't get to involve you guys if I'm making a predetermined video about something. So again, just like the baby parade, it has its perks and advantages and disadvantages. But yes, if something pops up news-wise with the Cambridges, of course I will do a pop-up about them. Glenda says, I hope we get to see the baby after he or she is born. I'm sure we will, whether it's baby parade or photograph. I'm sure there will be something. Thank you for the comments on my living room. Jennifer says you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Natalie Jean says the Queen didn't do any baby parades with her 4 children. That was different times. Let me just lower the camera because I'm going to sit on my butt. There we go. I'm going to sit down because my legs were going to sleep. I hope you can see me. It was a different time. I mean, you know, it wasn't done anyway in those days to kind of parade your baby, so that's why the Queen didn't do it. Claire Green says, I hope they do come up to show the baby, as I plan to have pictures done from October to the birth. I mean, again, it's personal choice. Michelle says, my pics after all my children birth, I look exhausted. Most people do. I don't know what Catherine does. I really don't. She does something. I mean, it doesn't... obviously, the team of people doing her hair and makeup and wardrobe help. But yes, she looks like she's had 2 weeks in a luxury spa. Most people don't look like that when they've just given birth. Mathilde says, the Duchess can chuck it all and go with a home birth. She could, if her home's ready. And like I say, we don't think it's ready yet. People laughing at 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. Kimberly says, I would be happy if Meghan doesn't do the photo call. I think a lot of people would, to be fair. Okay, I'm just scrolling down a little bit more. Lauren says, I really hope when we get to see outside the Lindo wing, personally I feel it's better so they get the photo and then leave the family alone. That would be my thoughts. However, people are discussing other things, and like I say, if the parking restrictions haven't been put in place, that kind of tells me that it's probably looking less likely to be the Lindo wing, but it could still be the Portland, and it could, of course, it puts Frimley Park a little bit more firmly in the picture than what it was before we found out that information. Hannah says, every day I check Meghan and Harry's news and makes me happy every time, and stay away from politics, newsmaking. The news is making you insane, and me in the UK too. We have a lot going on too. Alicia says, you're guessing the baby weighs 8 pounds. It looks like a big baby in there. It does look like a baby, like a big baby in there. Again, people coming up with different opinions. Some people would like the baby parade. Some people would like pictures on Instagram. I'm just reading all the comments that are coming through. By the way, why haven't I got 1 million subscribers or followers? Please subscribe. If you haven't already, just do it, please. Just do it. Ninova says, I'm guessing 7.5 to 8 pounds on April the 25th. I do still think mid-April, but like I say, we're in the zone. We're in the baby zone. Anything could happen. Yes, Hannah, I do. I try and read most people's comments, as long as I don't miss them. Margaret says, did Edward and Sophie do the baby parade? Yes, I think they did. I'm sure I remember a photo of them outside Frimley Park. With a little bundle of joy. Oh, thank you to Alicia, who says, you deserve 1 million followers. I do. Thank you. Annette says, however, the wise ones said after Meghan was married, the press would leave her alone. Right, she hasn't been left alone since, so why would they expect the baby to be left alone by the media? Well, they do often come to some kind of deals with the media. You do a press call, you do a photo shoot, we leave you alone. And largely, they keep to it, pretty much. And that has been pretty much the standard since Diana sadly passed away and the royal family re-established a new kind of working relationship with the media, especially when William and Harry were young. They agreed to do several, set piece photo calls in exchange for leaving them alone, and the press largely did, and it has worked with William and Catherine, and I think it would work as well with Harry and Meghan, because the press know that if they were to break that, then Harry and Meghan could just pull up the drawbridge and shut them out. And they don't want that, because they do want to have photographs released periodically. They do want to be invited to press calls and all that kind of thing. So it is still a leap of faith, but I do believe that they probably would stick to it, as long as there was a formal agreement that that they would keep releasing photos or doing photo calls, that kind of thing. Or they could just send the photos to me and I could make videos. Lots of other baby predictions. You can leave your baby predictions here if you would like to. Mary says, is it true that funerals are practiced for Prince Philip and the Queen? Yes, every year. They are updated every single year and they are practiced, and yeah. It's British preparations. We do it well. Kinala says, I doubt that such a press agreement would work with the US press. Probably not. Probably not. Right, I'm going to leave it here because there literally isn't. I don't think I've missed anything out. No, I think we're all good. Yes, we're all good. So I'm going to leave it here. If anything else comes to light, I might do a pop-up tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. And please remember to subscribe to the channel. So from me for now in Shropshire, mwah, to you all and goodbye.